talked about what it is, or what it's not, rather. But talking about how do you go about applying it? What's a typical day look like for somebody who's practicing Ignatian spirituality?
One of the key cornerstones of Ignatian spirituality, I think, and a great place for people to start if they want to, I guess, explore it a little bit, is with the main prayer called the Daily Examen. And with the Daily Examen, you spend time at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day, or both, where you kind of review your day a little bit. Think about, what happened that day, what went well, what didn't go well, examining your feelings and your emotions, which, for most of us guys, we want to try to avoid, it seems like, but there's a lot of really good information there in our spiritual lives where we can see God kind of gently pushing us in one direction or another. And then even finding things to be thankful for. What was something today, even as small as it may be, where God somehow impacted our lives. And by doing this little prayer, and it can only take 5 or 10 minutes when you're first getting started, but you give a little bit of time to this prayer each day. Over time, what happens is you start to recognize God in those moments with you, that you actually see him. You're, like I said, you're standing in the grocery store. Ordinarily, that's not a God moment for most people. But when you've spent time doing Ignatian spirituality and reflecting on those moments, you start to see that was a moment where God is with you. And maybe that was a good time to open up to him and tell him what you're feeling or release some frustration, that you can start to see God in your life every day.
Yeah. Are there different layers to Ignatian spirituality? Like there might be something that's a little surface. Are there deeper layers that one can go to?
Yeah, I think so. In the end, I think it's maybe not layers. I think it's about how good you get at it. That eventually as you start off small like this, where you start to recognize God in the little ways. And then over time, you start to implement it on a grander scale where it becomes just more of daily habit, where you're just kind of walking throughout the day, feeling like God is right there with you and always having the right perspective.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for checking out this clip from the Practical Theism podcast. If you enjoyed this clip and you want to check out the full episode, you can do so by finding it on our YouTube channel. Definitely consider subscribing and ringing that little bell so you can continue to get updates and notifications when we release new episodes and new clips just like this one. I hope to see you soon.